Welcome back to the channel, fellas. Today, we're doing Washington, starting off the year at number 8. Let's see what 2019-2020 holds for Washington. Updated rosters. Let's go. Washington starts off the season against Hawaii. Let's check out their schedule. We've got Washington out of conference, Hawaii, BYU, Eastern Washington is that FCS Northwest team. Then we've got UCLA, number 7 Stanford. Then we've got Arizona, Cal, 18 Oregon, Arizona State, 12 Utah, Oregon State, and Washington State. That's quite the slate of teams there. It's a pretty great non-conference and in-conference. We've got not the right people from last season. Let's look. Let's go into the depth chart and check out the starters for Washington. We've got Jacob Eason, 93 overall. Look for him to have a big year this year. He sat for a year, learned the offense. I expect big numbers from Jacob Eason. Backing him up, we've got Ahmed, 94, only a junior. He should have a pretty good year, 97 speed right there. We've got Harris, the fullback. We got Fuller and McClatchler, 2 90 overall receivers, 92. Got Bryant at tight end, 6'2", 227. He'll be trucking some people. We've got a pretty good offensive line here, 88, 88, 94, 88. An 83 overall left end, 80 overall right end. Got some pretty good backups there. I'm not even going to try to pronounce these names. Some pretty great people on the defensive line. We're going to make sure we get the best player at left linebacker here. I'm not going to say that, but he's a 90 overall. And then at middle linebacker, just to make sure, we've got Beavers, 87 overall. Bowman, 91 overall. Then 2 90 overall defensive backs, Murphy and Bryant. Murphy should have a great year. 99 overall Rapp as the free safety. Wow. Strong safety, we've got McKinney, 84 overall. At kicker, Henry, 90 overall. Let's put the punter in there. He's 93 overall. Put him there. 93 punter. Whitford doing double duty. Kick returns, we got McGrew and Murphy. Some pretty fast guys back there. That agility's legit. And we're doing the punter, have the kickoff start. Let's get into it. I'm going to simulate the whole season, and when I get back, we'll see how they do. Washington misses on the top 4 prospects, but it's still in it for Fuller and Folks. You never know. Maybe they'll grab those two. We do see some pretty good overall players here. Lots of mid-70s, a few high 60s, and Josh Browning, 58 overall. Oof. He'll never see the field. Maybe he's Jake Browning's brother. And you know what? I like Jake Browning, so I'm okay with it. Maybe they'll end up with Fuller and Folks. You never know. But, you got to hit one of them. They had a Coach of the Year finalist, 10 consecutive wins, 2,000 rushing yards, forcing 20 turnovers. Again, 8 consecutive wins. And look at that. Outland, Remington, O'Brien, Mackey. 50 touchdowns. Made it to the conference championship. Washington beasting it up. Ranked in the top 5 12 times. I have a feeling they went undefeated. That's a pretty solid year. Let's check it out. Washington, number 2 in the country, taking on Arizona in the conference championship. Let's check out these polls. Who's number 1? Washington's number 2. Number 1 is Ohio State. Wow, 12-0. 12-0 Washington. Alabama, Michigan, and Iowa holding down the top 5. And then you've got the usual suspects. Clemson, Florida State, Georgia. We got UCF at 11-1. Miami at 10-2. So some pretty usual top 10 people. Let's check out the rest of it. Where's everyone else? Let's take a look. Texas, SMU, Virginia Tech. Okay, so we got some pretty... Marshall at 10-2. Navy at 10-2. Kansas State at 8-4. Wow, 8-4, number 20. We got Oklahoma down there at 9-3. Lost in Bedlam to a close one. But we got Washington at number 2. What's the BCS say? Washington solidly number 2 here. I don't think Alabama will overtake them, but let's simulate this conference championship and see what happens, because I want to see Washington in the national championship. Let's do it. Even though they're number 2 in the conference championship, Washington does not have someone in the top 5 of the Heisman. You see Perry from Navy winning it, and not a landslide, but not really close. 1,800 yards. Let's see if Washington wins. They won the Pac-12 championship, 13-0, number 1, playing Alabama in the national championship. What happened to Ohio State? Let's take a look. And Iowa comes up big and beats Ohio State 42-35. Wow. That means Washington plays Alabama in the national championship. Check out the statistical leaders for Washington before we do the national championship, just because I'm really curious. I love this part of the video. Who did what? Let's take a look. Season stats: Jacob Eason, almost 3,000 yards, good for 12th in the country. Ahmed, 18th in the country with over 1,350. That's pretty good. We've got Fuller, 850 yards, good for 39th. They've spread the ball around. Not even going to say that name, but 29 solo tackles, spreading the tackles around like peanut butter. They got Bronson at 5.5 sacks, 97th overall. Not going to say that. 4 interceptions, but we know they forced 20 turnovers this year. And for the kicker, the long field goal of 50 yards, pretty good. Whitford, you're the man. I couldn't do that. I wish I could. Let's simulate this national championship and see what happens. And Washington loses to Alabama 31-38 in the 2019-2020 national championship. Let's take a look at what happened in this game. That's a close one. If you can keep Alabama to within 7, you're doing something right. So Chris Peterson, kudos to you for getting the national championship. Let's see what Jacob Eason and the rest of the team did. Here we go. Alabama jumps up to a 14-0 lead in the first quarter. Washington comes back, makes it 14-17, but Alabama scores 21 in the third quarter. Washington doesn't score till the fourth. They make it look closer than it is, 31-38. Bama with almost 500 yards of offense. Tua goes for 300 yards. Jacob Eason only 162. That's not going to get it done. Third down, we've got 5 for 10. That's pretty good. Only 3 for 11 for Washington. 2 for 2 for Washington on the fourth down. Bama only gets 1 of 2. But they did have a turnover. 1 interception for Tua. 0 for Washington. And the time of possession actually goes Washington's way. But Alabama squeaks out a close one. 31-38. Jacob Eason, 17 for 26. 162. 1 touchdown. McGrew for 92. It seems like they rushed just fine. Fuller, 7 for 61. That's a pretty great day for him and a touchdown. Defensively, there was a bunch of tackles for loss. You can see there's 7 on the screen. 2.5 sacks. Let's see, another half sack, so 3 sacks on the day. Kicking, got 1 for 1. Punting for 200 yards. 38 average, not great. McGrew, 6 for 135 on the kick returns. Punt returns are negligible. Alabama just takes it away from Washington early in the game. But that's it for me. Thanks for sticking around. If you like this video, like it, comment, subscribe. I love feedback. I want it. Give it to me. Peace.